All right, guys. So, first thing, y'all took your test last class. I haven't even looked at it because I had meet the teacher night on Wednesday. And anyways, you'll have grades for it next week. You will still be able to correct it. There's just one kind of bummer thing. I can't do any advisory tutoring next week because they're making me teach some PSAT thing during advisory. So that means that if you want to correct your test next week, you will have to come to tutoring. It's Monday, Thursday after school. The following week, which is the week of homecoming, I have that same class Monday, Tuesday, but I could start advisory tutoring again Wednesday, Thursday. So next week, I'm unavailable for all of advisory unless I've asked them to change it, but I don't know if they will. Okay? So our goal for today is to cover 3 ways to factor. Okay, so if you will put Chromebooks away for right now, okay, you have already learned this once, or actually we'll say twice, Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. Okay, but there are a lot of different ways to teach it. So as we're doing it, if you happen to remember a different way and you like it more, that's fine, I don't care. So we're putting Chromebooks away right now, please. Okay, close them up, put them away. Okay, will you just get a real calculator and put it away, please? All right, so first thing, okay, the first type of factoring that we're going to do is from standard form. So it's going to be ax squared. Yes?
I take the test last
Because you guys were gone. Okay, let's start the notes, and then if you want to start it after that, you can. Okay, so ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, the first thing that you're going to look for is a GCF between all of the numbers. So if all 3 of these numbers can divide by the same thing, you should do it. Okay, because it's just going to make your life easier. So step number 1, look for a GCF. Okay, then you are going to multiply the A and the C together. And you're going to list all possible factor pairs. So factors have to multiply back to that number that you want. Okay, if you have a positive AC, they need to add to equal your B. And if it's a negative AC, they have to subtract to equal your B. So either way, they have to equal B, but a positive, it should add, negative, you should minus. So before we get too far into the steps, let's do that for number 1. So first thing, I see I have an x squared, then an x, then a number. Those are my A, my B, and my C. Okay, now, if your A is in a spot where there's not a number, so what I mean by that is like there's an x squared but not a number, that counts as a 1x squared. Okay, so if you want to write there to the side, your A is a 1, your B is an 11, your C is a 28. Now, normally I won't take the time to write that out. Hopefully you can just kind of see it in the equation. Okay, draw me a little X over here. And you're going to put the air conditioner in the top, the basement in the bottom. Okay, air conditioner is multiplying the A and the C. So my A is a 1, my C is a 28. What's 1 times 28? Positive 28. Okay, then you are going to list all of the possible ways to multiply back to 28. So starting with 1, I could do 1 times 28. Can 2 times by anything to give me 28? 2 and 14. Okay, 3. None. What about 4? 7. Okay, 5 can't. 6 can't. And then 7, you're back to 7 and 4, and they're already in the chart. So as soon as you start looping back around into the numbers you already have, you're done with your list. Okay, so we multiplied our AC, we listed our factors. Is our AC number a positive that I'm going to add or a negative that I'm going to subtract? Okay, AC is a positive, then that means that I want to add my factors to equal my B. Now, can you look at my ABC and tell me which number is my B? 11. Okay, then I'm looking for the pair that adds to 11. Do you see which one it is? Which one? 4 and 7, very good. Then your factors are x with a plus 4 and x with a plus 7. Okay? And for now, that's all you have to be able to do with it is break it down into factors or little parentheses. Okay, go to number 2. Label your ABC. A, B, C, and remember if your A is missing, that means it's a 1. Set up your X. Remember air conditioner in the top, basement in the bottom. AC is multiplying which numbers together? 1 times 12. 1 times 12 is 12. And then I'm going to list all the factors that will times to 12 starting with 1. So I could do 1 times 12. 2 times what? 6. My next pair would be 3 times 4. And then after 3 times 4 would be 4 times 3. But once I start looping around, we're done with the list. Okay, what is my basement number? 7. Then I need to pick the pair that are going to add to give me 7. Okay, now one more time. Why do I know they have to add? Because the 12 at the top is positive. Okay, so which ones do we want? 4, 3, and 4. Then your parentheses would be x plus 3, x plus 4. Good so far? All right, go down to number 3. Label your A, B, C. Okay, this time my A is a 1, my B is a -8, my C is a -20. So set up your AC chart. Okay, air conditioner up top, basement down below. What is 1 times -20? -20. And then my basement number is a -8. Okay, from there, we're going to list out all of our factors that will times to 20, starting with 1. 1 times what is 20? 20. 2 times what is 20? 10. Now, when I get to 3, can 3 times by anything to get 20? No. Okay, what about 4? 4 times 5. Okay, then my next number after 4 would be 5, which is going to be repartnered with 4, so I don't have to keep going. Okay, because your AC is negative on top, that means that you need to subtract to equal the B. Okay, or the basement number. So I'm not adding to get 8, I'm minusing to get 8. Do you see pairs that will minus to 8? 2 and 10. Now, this is important. I need to make sure that I put the negative on the number that will make the 8 come out to be negative. So if I want the 8 to come out to be negative, I'm going to put the negative on the bigger number. Okay, if I wanted my 8 to come out positive, I would put the negative on the 2 side so that the smaller number takes the negative. Okay, then from there you have your factors. It's an x plus 2 and an x minus 10. Okay, so far, are we doing okay? All right, take a look at the next one. Okay, A, B, C. So 2 times -6 is -12. And then my basement number from the middle, if there's nothing there, that counts as a 1. So if you want to put your basement number, that's a positive 1 in the middle. And then do you notice the chart above this? We already did 12. So I'm just going to copy these numbers from this chart. So it'll be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay? So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay, from here, am I adding or subtracting in this chart? The sign of the AC tells you which one to do. Okay, I know I'm going to be in a subtraction chart. And I want it to subtract to give me 1. That's what my B is. So which of those will minus to 1? Okay, 3 and 4. And then if my B wants to stay positive 1, I put the minus on the smaller side. Okay, so remember, minus on the bigger side if you want to keep it negative, minus on the smaller side to make it positive. Okay, at this point, you are not going to take the shortcut that we took the last 2 times. Here's why. Okay, if your A is any number other than 1, you cannot shortcut straight to your answers. No shortcut to the parentheses. Okay, so what I'm going to call that typically is the A1 shortcut, because you're allowed to shortcut if your A is a 1. There's like a random canon, but I just did a point. Okay, so if it's a 1, you can shortcut straight to the answers like we did on 1, 2, and 3. If it's not a 1, you're going to have to do what I'm going to call divide and slide. Okay, it's a shortcut for a more complicated process that I'm not going to show you right now. Okay, to divide and slide, you're going to take the numbers that you picked. So x minus 3 and x plus 4. But you're going to have to divide by what your A was. In this case, what was my A? 2. Then I'm going to divide both of these by 2. If it will divide, I'm going to do it. If it won't divide, I'm going to slide it to the front. Here's what I mean by that. Okay, can 3 divide by 2? Then you're going to slide it to here. It's a 2x minus 3. Can 4 divide by 2? Then I'm going to do it and I don't have to slide it. So 4 divided by 2 is, so x plus 2. So you're either dividing or sliding based on whether or not the division will work. Okay? Go ahead and turn the page. James, can we put your computer away, please, honey? Okay, take a look at number 5. A, B, C. Go ahead and write them down. Okay, set up your AC chart. My AC at the top is going to be 2 times 3. What's 2 times 3? What's 2 times 3? 6. Okay, then I'm going to list out my possible factors that will times to 6. So I could do 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. Okay, my basement number is a 5. Now, this is where you have to be a little bit careful. That 2 and 3 are going to add to 5, but 6 and 1 minus to 5. So you have to think about what kind of chart you're in. The AC tells you that. What kind of 6 do I have up top? Positive. Positive. Then this is an addition chart. So which one do I have to pick? 2 and 3. So you're going to write x plus 2 and x plus 3. But remember, this is a no A1 shortcut because your A is not a 1. What is it this time? Your A is a 2. Then you're going to have to divide and slide over 2. So 2 here, 2 here. Okay, but why are we doing it? Because it's a no A1 shortcut. That means you're either dividing or sliding. 2 divided by 2 is going to give us what? 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then on the 3 divided by 2, I can't do it, so I'll have to slide. So it'd be a 2x plus 3. Okay, for that type of factoring, do we feel like we can do it? All right, go to the next section. Okay, in the next section, you're going to see GCFs. Okay, GCF stands for greatest common factor. Good, greatest common factor. Okay, and in order for you to work a question with a greatest common factor, you are always going to do that step. Before was the word that was supposed to go in the blank, but then I forgot to delete it. Okay, so before factoring, okay? So take a look at number 7. What can all of those divide by? Okay, then you're going to divide all of those by 4. So my 4 divided by 4 is now a what? 1x squared. My 36 divided by 4 is a 9x. And then 56 divided by 4, what's that going to be? 14. Okay, from there, set up your ABC and set up your chart. So my AC chart over here, we'll have to write smaller. Okay, 1 times 14 is 14. Note that it's a positive 14. Okay, that matters because it tells me whether I'm adding or subtracting factors. Okay, and then my basement number is a -9. Okay, here's why I had you pick up a calculator. Okay, in your y equals, will you open it up for me, please? Okay, I know that a lot of you have your factors memorized, okay, but some of you don't, and that's okay. If you want to get the list without having to think through every single number, what would have to times with it, you can take whatever your number is, so 14 divided by x. Okay, and then hit second graph, and it'll pull up a table for you, and it'll give you all the numbers. Okay, so whatever your AC number is, divide it by x, and then if you go into your chart, I can see I only want numbers that are both whole numbers. So if it's got a decimal, you do not want that. So 1 and 14 divided by x. So it'd be 14 divided by x. Okay, so 1 and 14 are partners. 2 and 7 are partners. And then when I look at all the next numbers, do you see how they have decimals? Then they don't make the chart. Okay, only whole numbers are allowed for your AC chart. Then my next whole number pair is 7 and 2, and that's a repeat. Once you hit your first repeat, you're done with your list. Okay, I need numbers that add to give me 9. Which numbers add to give me 9? 2 and 7. Now, what kind of 9 do I want them to add to? Negative, then you're going to have to make them both negative. Okay, so for a positive AC chart, the signs have to match. So if you're adding, they have to both be pluses or both be minuses. Okay? Then from there, will we be able to A1 shortcut? Yes, because my A is a what? A 1. So it'll be x minus 2 and x minus 7. Okay, now that answer is almost right. If you take a GCF out at the very beginning, you have to remember to put it back. So this divide by 4 needs to just go back into your final answer, like that. Okay? Questions on that? All right. I think you kind of get the idea there. Let's do number 8. Okay, we'll skip 9. Can you tell me what all of the numbers in 8 can divide by? 2. So we're going to divide these all by 2. So my 6x4 becomes a 3x4. My 4x squared becomes a 2x squared. And then 10 divided by 2 becomes a 5. You do not. Good question, you do not. Uh-huh. So label your ABC. Okay, set up your chart. We're not doing number 9, so if you need that space, feel free to use it. Okay, AC is going to be 3 times minus 15. Or sorry, 3 times minus 5, which is 15. And then my basement number is a 2. Now, if you want to get the list in your calculator, even if this is negative, don't put it. Okay? So I'm going to go into my y equals, and I'm going to make it a 15 divided by x. Okay? Then I want you to pull up your list and only write down the whole number partners. Only the whole numbers. Okay, so I have 1 and 15. What's the only other partner where they're both whole numbers? 3 and 5. Is this an addition or a subtraction chart? Okay, subtraction, because I see that my AC number is negative. And then I want to subtract to B, what's my B number? 2. So which ones do I want? 3 and 5. If I want my 2 to stay positive, where should I put the negative? On the bigger number or the smaller number? If I put it on the bigger number, it's going to come out negative. So smaller. So I'm putting my negative right there. Okay, question. Can I A1 shortcut or do I have to divide and slide? Can I A1 shortcut?
No.
No, because my A is not a 1, it's a 3. So I'm going to put x minus 3 and x plus 5. But then I'm going to divide and slide over 3. Okay, and you have to do that step anytime that your A is not a 1. What is 3 divided by 3 on the first one? Negative 1. Okay, 5 will not divide by 3, so I'd slide that one to be a 3x plus 5. And then what number should be written at the very front because I took it out at the very beginning? 2. Okay, now real quick. Okay, because I forgot. How many x's did I have in this question? It was an x squared, yeah? So when I broke it up, it went to an x and an x. For this question, do you see that it was an x4? Then when you break it up, you're going to do a squared and a squared. Okay? So if you initially have more than just an x squared, okay, you'll just split them evenly into each parentheses. It won't be if you're trying to factor. If it's an emergency, yes, but if you can wait for the end of the notes, that'd be great. We have about 10 minutes. But it's up to you. If it's an emergency, it's okay. All right, so the last couple of questions you're just doing shortcuts for. Okay, yes?
Exponent on the x is like
You couldn't factor this way if it wasn't splittable in half. Like if it was an x4 or an x6 or an x8, you could do it. If it was an x3, you couldn't. Okay? All right, take a look at the next row. We are GCFing only on this row, but GCF should be easier than this process. So take a look at number 10. What can both of those divide by?
6.
Okay, very good. I heard 2x. Okay, remember that a GCF, oftentimes it is a number, but it also could be an x or it could be both. So for number 10, you're going to take the 2x out and then just put what's left over in parentheses. So from my 2x squared, what would be left over when I divide it by 2x? 2x squared, if I divide the 2x out, what's left? Just an x. Very good. Okay, then for my minus 8, what's minus 8 divided by 2? Negative 4. And then I had an x in that spot, but since I pulled it out to the front, okay, the 4 wouldn't get to keep the x. Okay? Take a look at number 11. What can those both divide by? I have an 8x4 and a 4x7. Okay, they both can divide by 4. And then I can also take out 4 x's. Now question, why can't I try to take out 7? Because then this one won't have enough. So you can only take out as many x's as the smaller one has. So my 4x4 comes out. My 8x4 divided by 4x4 will leave me with what number? 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then no x's left over because I took all 4 of them out. For my 4x7, if I divide it by 4x4, 4 divided by 4 is a 1. And how many x's are going to have to stay? I had 7. I'm dividing 4 out. That would leave me with 3. Okay, you get the idea on that?
Wait, why would we?
Why what?
Why would they do?
Because I had 4 x's and I pulled all 4 of them out. So the 2 wouldn't get to keep any x's with it. All right, last one like that. We have a 6x5 and a 15x. What can they both divide by? 3 and x. Very good. So my 3x would come out to the front. 6 divided by 3 leaves a 2. And then x5, if I only take out one of them, leaves an x4. Okay, then for my 15x, what's 15 divided by 3? 15 divided by 3 would be 5. Will it get to keep an x? No, because it only had 1 and you pulled it to the outside. Okay, so you should know how to AC chart. You should know how to GCF. There's one more method we're going to cover that's pretty short, so turn the page. Okay, the last method that we're going to cover right now is going to be perfect squares. Okay, and perfect squares is a shortcut for when you have only 2 terms. They have to both be perfect squares, and it has to be a minus in the middle. So on the next page, okay, they have to both be perfect squares. Okay, they have to both be perfect squares, and it has to be subtracted terms. Okay, so if that doesn't happen, you can't do this little shortcut. Okay, take a look at number 13. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to square root the first term, which is an x squared. Can you tell me the square root of x squared? What would it be? X. Then you're going to break up an x into each parentheses. Okay, then you're going to square root the second number, which is a 16. What is the square root of 16? Plus or minus 4. So you'll put a plus 4 in one, a minus 4 in the other, and you're done. Okay, but you can only use this shortcut if they're both square rootable and it's a minus in the middle. Let's take a look at number 14. I have a 9x squared minus 121. What is the square root of 9x squared? 3x and 3x. Okay, they both get their own parentheses. And then in your calculator, if you don't happen to know it, 121 is a perfect square root. What does it give me? 11 is correct. And remember, it's a plus or minus on the 11. So we'll do a plus 11 in one, minus 11 in the other. Okay, let's skip 15, go to 16. Okay, we're going to square root 25x squared. Okay, you're square rooting the number and the x squared. So 25 goes to what? 5x and 5x. And then for your 49y to the 4th, what's the square root of 49? Plus or minus 7. And then you have to split the y's equally, remember what I said, it should be a number you can cut in half. So if I have 4 y's, I would split them into a y squared and a y squared. Okay, you will not get a question where you cannot split them evenly. Okay? All right, take a look at number 17. Number 17 has a little bit of a problem, okay? And the problem is that I cannot square root 2 or 98. But remember, the first step that you should always check is GCF. So for number 17, can I divide anything out of both of those numbers? So I'm going to divide by 2 first. And then what's left is going to come out to be a perfect square. So 2 divided by 2 is now a 1x squared. And what's 98 divided by 2? 49. And now they're both perfect squares. So let's do it. What's the square root of 1x squared? 1x. Okay, which you don't have to put the 1, but you can if you want to. Okay, and then the square root of 49? Plus or minus 7. Should I box that as my final answer? What am I missing? Remember, if you take a 2 out at the beginning, you got to keep it there in the front. Okay? All right. Last question, number 19. You have 2 questions like this on your homework, and the instructions say factor completely. Okay, so put a little star here. Okay, this is going to happen for 2 questions on your homework. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is ABC. Now, I would check for a GCF, but if my X doesn't even have a number on it, then there's no way they can all divide by the same thing. So let's set up our AC chart. My A is a 1 if nothing's there. So 1 times negative 18 is negative 18. Okay, then my bottom number or my basement number is a minus 7. If you want to use the calculator shortcut for your list, remember you can go into y equals and just put the AC number divided by x. Remember, no negative on it, so if it's a minus 18, you're still just doing 18 over x. Okay, remember, you only want both whole numbers, no decimals. So I see that I have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, or 3 and 6. Is this an addition or subtraction chart? Subtraction, what number do I want them to be? 7. So which of those partners minus to 7? 2 and 9, very good. So I'm not going to write the whole list. I'm just going to put the ones I care about. Okay, so 2 and 9 are my guys. Where should I put the negative if I want the 7 to come out negative? On the bigger number, which is the 9, very good. Okay, from here, can I A1 shortcut?
Yeah.
Yes. So my A1 shortcut tells me that it's x plus 2 and x minus 9. Almost. What are we missing? How many x's did I have at the beginning? X to the what? 4. So when I split them evenly, you have to put a squared on both. And now, will you look at both of those parentheses carefully? Which one of those is a perfect square that can now be split again? The 9. Remember, has to be perfect and has to be a minus. So that means that this one can split again. What's the square root of x squared? It would be x and x. And then what's the square root of 9? And don't forget the plus or minus. So it's a plus 3 in one, minus 3 in the other. Okay, for the x squared plus 2, you can't break that down. Number 1, 2 is not even a perfect square, but then also it's not a minus in the middle, which is the only time that you can do that shortcut. Okay? So for the question that says factor completely, you're going to break it down with T-chart, and then one of them will break down one more time. Okay? All right, go ahead and pull out your Chromebooks. Okay, this homework is probably going to take you a little bit longer, which is why we did the notes all in one. You have about 50 minutes. Okay? Are you serious?